Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to a R-rated movie month. And boy, do I have a rant for you guys. This is a action film from 2010, the worst movie I saw that year, called Legion. No, this is not the TV show with Dan Stevens on FX. No, this is a different Legion. Is basically mankind is being threatened by angels. Let me say that again. Mankind is attacked by angels. Who the hell thought that that was going to be a good idea? You have Paul Bettany in this movie. This is what he did before Marvel signed him on to do Vision. At that time, he was just the voice of Iron Man, Butler in a way. And he's just completely wasted in this movie. He has no freaking charisma. He's bored out of his mind. He's just sleepwalking through the whole film. Yeah, don't worry. There's like mosquitoes here. Have an infestation. It's not my fault. But anyway, yeah. Tell me if this premise sounds familiar. A woman is going to give birth to a unborn child that is going to lead a resistance against a army of not robots but angels in the future that's going to save mankind. What does that sound like? The Terminator. Yeah, this movie steals from the Terminator. Not look wise, just the premise. And I'm like, why? The Terminator is one of the greatest movies of all time that James Cameron ever made, and you can't top it. They tried to with some of the sequels, and they failed. But anyway, yeah, the cast is completely they fail in this movie. They can't save it. Dennis Quaid has doesn't have much to do. Adrienne Palicki, she's the mother of the chosen child that's going to save them, and she is awful in this movie. You have who else? I said Paul Bettany, and you have Kevin Durant as one of the angels. I think is Gabriel. He's awful in the movie. The CGI is horrible. Like there's this old woman that talks to Adrienne Palicki because she works in like a diner, and that could have been interesting because I've seen the movie done better. It's called Feast. It's way better than this. And you have her saying, "Oh, your child is gonna burn," and she's like, "Excuse me," and she's like, "It's gonna burn," and then all of a sudden she has these freaking shark teeth. I'm like, "What the hell did that come from?" She's like, and it's not scary. She's like climbing up the walls like Spider-Man. It looks freaking ridiculous. The CGI looks horrible. If you saw the trailer, you saw this movie. The angels look like freaking zombies from Resident Evil with shark teeth. And it has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't have to do with any logic or any biblical things I've ever seen. It's just stupid. If you've seen uh Terminator, just see that. A stupid premise can work. Sharknado did that wonderfully in the last like 5 years for me, and it'll end it this year with Sharknado 6. This is just insulting my intelligence. It's boring. It's horribly acted. It's horribly written. It's too long. It's like an hour and 40 some minutes. It's way too long. It has padding. There's a lot of talking and bitching and moaning. The gore doesn't save it. It's just gore for the sake of gore. This director doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You have Paul Bettany. He has all the potential in the world, and it's wasted on a shitty script. It had the action sequences are stupid. It's like a bunch of angels just fighting each other, and they can only fight with their hands and with their wings, and it looks stupid. It's like Archangel from the X-Men movies. This is wasted potential. I thought this movie could have been awesome if they had just stuck with a better script, better director, and a premise that wasn't this stupid and insulting the intelligence of the audience. There's a reason this bombed and was completely forgotten. I'd rather sit through the Underworld films than sit through this again, because at least the prequel is well made, and it's not freaking an hour and 40 minutes long. And by the way, it has a better lead in freaking Michael Sheen, who's actually trying. This film it's horrible. It's horrible, guys. Nerd Pack, if you have never seen this movie, don't. Just see the Legion TV show from FX. That's way better because Dan Stevens carries that, and the premise is interesting, and it's gory, but it's not insultingly gory, like just for the sake of having gore. That is better paced, it's better acted, it's better written. This is one of the worst films I've ever seen. Literally, like the action means nothing. The story is rehashed garbage. The CGI is freaking horrible. And just, it just goes on and on and on. And there's inconsistencies too. Like there's a scene in the car where the girl's like, "What's happening to your hand?" and he looks at his hand and nothing happens, and then in the very next shot it's starting to change, and I'm like, where did that come from? Seriously, where the hell did that come from? Also, I think there's an actress, Kate Walsh, is in the movie, and she dies, and I'm like, yeah, you killed an actress that I actually do like, and you gave her nothing to do. You made her bitch and moan, and then you kill her off like halfway through the film. And I don't know why this movie was even made. Jeremy Jahns reviewed this movie back in 2010, and he said it was the worst movie he saw. And yeah, guess what, Jeremy? That hasn't changed for me either. Every shitty movie that came out in 2010, it doesn't compare to Legion. It does not compare. Even direct-to-video schlock, you're not expecting much. Or TV movies, you're not expecting much. I saw Camp Rock 2. That came out the same year. I didn't like it, but it wasn't horrible. It was just like a mediocre, unnecessary sequel. This is torturous. If you ever see this movie, guys, I feel so sorry for you. It's R-rated, but it is shit. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I cannot fathom why they even made this movie. Oh, let's just do another Underworld. You know why I didn't hate Priest from 2011? Because it had Maggie Q. She's hot to trot. It had some better action sequences. It knew what it was. There was some dialogue I didn't like, and it was way shorter. And it had Carl Urban as a villain. So that was at least a little better. This is freaking garbage. If you see this in a yard sale or on Netflix, avoid it. Please, please freaking avoid it. You can do so much better with your time. There are better movies that came out in this decade. I'm glad this wasn't based on a comic. It would have been laughed off the screen. That was not a good year. Besides for Iron Man 2, a lot of movies that came out in 2010 were just a lot of them were insulting. You had Jonah Hex. You had Legion. You had freaking, what was it? There were other films. I don't know. Punisher Warzone was 2008. But yeah, there were a lot of shitty films. Yeah, the third Twilight movie. Yeah, like we didn't have enough pain and suffering with bad franchises that were successful. This was not successful. It's been forgotten. It's shit. It got a horrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it deserves it. It's a dud, guys. Don't watch it. Do not watch Legion from 2010. The story is generic as fuck. It's bad. It's just horrible, and the movie doesn't have any redeeming quality. I can only say that Adrian Palicki. This is before she did GI Joe Retaliation and other stuff, and I would rather watch that because at least it doesn't insult me the way this did. And no, Sean, you don't have to tell me the movie sucks. Okay, I heard you already, but this film sucks even worse because this could have been decent or a guilty pleasure, and it's not. It's just painful. But hey, I'm done talking about it. I never have to rant on Legion again. And God help the people that worked on this movie because they did not know what they were doing. This is a crappy movie that came out in January that did nothing. And I'm glad that it's forgotten because I would never watch this movie again. It's just too painful. Anyway, guys, that's my rant on Legion. It's not as fiery as other rants I did, like with Kick Ass, but there's people trying to sleep, so I don't want to yell too much. But yeah, Legion is horrible. It's one of those films that I'm like, why was this even made? The Sci-Fi Channel would have rejected this movie. Killer Angels, give me a fucking break. It was just stupid. It was dead on arrival, and I'm glad that the film is not regarded at all. It just fell into the distance and just had nothing. So I give it nothing. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I'm sorry if I'm swatting flies here. There's a lot of fleas here, but I'll take care of them before my podcast today. And yeah, avoid Legion. Don't even think about it because it sucks. Later, guys.